On Sunday, May 25, 2014, we're in Canberra, Australia's capital in the ACT, Australian Capital Territory. This year marks the 100th anniversary of the capital's railway, which was opened in 1914. The event is held by the Australian Railway Historical Society ACT Division, and we see 3016 ready to take the fully booked centenary train on its way to Queanbeyan. Also on display is the Australian Railway Historical Society 6229 Garratt locomotive, which will be operating later on this year. The music in the background is played by a steam organ. .3016 is now seen leaving for Queanbeyan. While the 30T class locomotive had left the museum grounds, we now see Canberra's living treasure and the oldest operating locomotive in Australia, 1210, who 100 years ago brought the first train to Canberra, which was a coal train for Canberra's power station. 1210 was built by Bear Peacock & Co. in Manchester, England in 1878. The locomotive finished service in 1962, where it was then put on a plinth outside of Canberra's railway station until it was reallocated to the Australian Railway Historical Society in 1984 and was restored in time for the bicentennial celebrations of Australia in 1988, which had travelled with 3112 to Melbourne, Victoria for Osti Métier, a celebration of Australian steam. The locomotive is still in operational condition. We now see 6229 once again. This locomotive was also built by Bear Peacock in Manchester, England in 1953, and they were more commonly seen hauling freight trains around New South Wales during their heyday. When it was withdrawn from railway service, the federal government preserved the engine for the then proposed National Museum of Australia and was taken care of by the Australian Railway Historical Society. It was then given to them in full ownership only 8 years ago, according to one volunteer. During its ownership at the National Museum, 6029 went on rail tours until it was withdrawn due to boiler defects in 1981. It had been a static display until it was announced in 2007 by the Historical Society to be restored into steam. The project took 7 years, and its first official steam test was in March 2014. .3112 is now seen in the sidings of Canberra. Its future is unknown. The last time this locomotive was seen in steam was in 2007. Later in the day, CPH Rail Motor 37 is seen pulling into the museum station. It'll then be shunted to make way for 3016's return. The whistle was from the garret. We will now conclude the event as 3016 is seen shunting the train backwards into the station.